energy has, over the last couple of years, become a competitive form of energy in many parts of the world. And as we probably all know, the sun is the biggest energy source we have. And today the technology has become very robust, so it's very reliable, and it has a major advantage that it can be used pretty much all over the world. So it is definitely a growth industry, and not only in a few markets that support energy actively, like in the last years, but today pretty much all over the world. So it's a globally fast-growing industry. Poland has not been supporting renewables very strongly in the last couple of years, and in particular not solar. But I think today we are at a point where, for certain applications, and it's primarily households, solar starts becoming cost competitive even here in Poland. Also the new renewable energy law that will come into force at the beginning of next year foresees some support. So basically we've been asked this question many times since we listed, and our approach and our answer has always been, once conditions will be right, of course we are more than happy to come to the Polish market, and I believe that we're coming close. So maybe not this year, but we are having a look, we are analyzing the market, and once we will have what we believe to be a profitable way into the market, we will follow that way and come to the Polish market. Look at Poland as a market in its own right, and because of regulations, typically the solar markets are always very local, so you have to carefully analyze and understand the local regulations. So if you really want to operate in the market, you have to be on the ground, and that's why any presence in Poland would be fully directed at the Polish market, which of course, once it will develop, will be a very large market. We're currently communicating with investors in English, or publishing our reports in English. Our investor base is quite diverse, so we have of course quite a few Polish investors, but also investors from German-speaking Europe and many English speakers, also Czech investors. So we decided to focus on English language reporting. But of course, we get back to investors, Polish investors, if they approach us with questions, and they do that on a quite a regular basis. So we get back to them in writing, and on top we have also resumed online chats in cooperation with SII. We had a chat earlier this year, and we're planning a second chat this year in November after we published the third quarter results. And we're also trying to improve our press presence in Poland, and one of the first steps we've taken in this direction is an interview in SI's magazine Akcjonariusz, just coming out in these days. And clearly we're also looking at further such activities. Last year basically saw a continuation of the developments of the last couple of years, where we've been mainly concentrating on operating our portfolio of power plants as efficiently as possible, and on expanding our operations and maintenance business. Both of these businesses are very stable, but the volumes are relatively small compared to, for example, the business where you build power plants. This is something we have stopped doing in Europe. We do build power plants in Australia. So as a result of this, we had a decline in revenues, but we've been able to increase our EBITDA. And clearly for this year, our objective is to break even for the first time since 2010. Well, the big next step for us is, on one hand, selling applications of solar energy or solar solutions off-grid. We had our first pilot project in Australia last year. So the big advantage that solar has is that you don't need the grid and you don't have to go with the resources because the sun shines pretty much everywhere the same in a certain geographic location. So this is going to be one focus, and in particular in combination with energy storage. So the next step and the technological combination that will allow solar energy to be used much more widely is in combination with energy storage, which is becoming cheaper. I mean, you've probably seen the announcements of Tesla Motors, where now they've launched this battery pack as an extension of their car business. And of course, that's not the only technology that's out there, but in general, what you can see is that the costs are coming down, just like with PV panels a few years ago. And you can really see how in 2 or 3 years, the combination of solar and the battery pack will become the most financially efficient option for households, but also for commercial customers, which is our main focus in Australia, but also in all the other markets where we operate, and of course also plan to enter some new markets in those 5 years. So this is going to be the focus: solar energy and storage.